Army go sit in the bleachers and watch this thing called the Evening Parade. And what we're watching now is that on steroids. And if you've ever been to the 8th and I Parade, you've been inspired, you've been educated, informed, and inspired, and you're ready to go run through a brick wall. And President Trump has obviously seen that parade and said, why can't we do this at the grandest scale for our largest branch of service? And that's what we're seeing. It's an amazing thing to see, and it will absolutely inspire young Americans to want to know more about serving their country.
You know what, Joey, if you don't mind, can we just take a little bit of this moment in as this crowd is roaring right now for what's coming out here on the stage? I know you're a Marine, but this is just a moment for American history right now. Absolutely. As we see the Secretary of State right there, Marco Rubio in the crowd, and Linda McMahon.
In the Gulf War, no division hit harder or moved faster than the 1st Armored. The 1st Armored Division, nicknamed Old Ironsides, is the oldest, most recognizable armored division in the United States Army. As part of the buildup for World War II, cavalry and reconnaissance units were brought together to form the 1st Armored Division in 1940. In the Gulf War, no division hit harder or moved faster than the 1st Armored. Old Ironsides really led the way. During Desert Storm, they engaged in some of the largest tank battles in Army history.
And that was just the Commander-in-Chief saluting the troops yet again, Emily.
I just got caught waving to one of the guys. You cannot help but participate. I'm telling you, this is so incredible. Joey Jones is still with us. Talk to us about the morale and the message it sends, Joey, to the rest of America tonight.
Listen, this is not partisan, but could you imagine being one of those people earlier today that was complaining about this? I mean, could you imagine eating the crow you'll have to eat? There's not a soldier in that parade that isn't beaming with pride right now. Their families are probably there, many of them watching at home. If you don't watch this and think, wow, how amazing is it to win the lottery and get born in this country, or to maybe get the lottery and to be able to come here and be a citizen to this country, and to know that that's who will have your back, that's who will save your life in a moment of crisis, that's who will go lay their lives on the line and have done it for 250 years. Guys, the Army is older than our country because we had to have somebody to win the war to start the country. It's an amazing history lesson. It's an amazing moment of inspiration. And we're just really lucky to have a president who recognized it and invested in it.
You know, Joey, I've always said we need to do more. We got a veteran suicide rate that is way too high. We know the debacle from Afghanistan and what happened and what that did for morale. And so a little thank you, I think goes a long way, right, Joey?
You know, guys, if you look, we don't have the moment from Iraq and Afghanistan where the sailor kisses the nurse, or the ticker tape parade through, Manhattan. We didn't have that celebration for fighting for 20 years to keep this country safe. Maybe a little bit late, but here it is. Our last president walked away in shame, let people die. This president brought them to the center of the universe, Washington, D.C., in uniform, and said, thank you.
Amen. Thank you, President Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and team.
Watching the parade that are actively participating, and they've been shouting and cheering and waving to their buddies. So it's really special to watch this camaraderie of support. It's really an incredible collaborative effort down here where it's families, it's supporters, it's patriots, and it's also fellow service members in the crowd supporting their colleagues and in front of the commander-in-chief.
It feels good when you see all the college campuses that have had the pro-Hamas and all these people that hate our country, want to destroy our country, to take just a moment to celebrate the men and women that keep us safe. They've been flying for the last 2 weeks flags of other countries, and we've allowed it. It feels good to see many American flags here today.
Especially because it's but for these brave men and women and this storied institution, we wouldn't have that right protected. They wouldn't have the freedom to do exactly what they want and to disrespect everyone right and left. But to your point, not here, not tonight. It is only respect and gratitude and excitement on this 250th birthday of the United States Army.
It is a new day in America, and we still got a big show coming up. More of our special coverage of the Army's 250th anniversary parade. And please, just don't go anywhere, because we got a lot cooking.
Hope you appreciate and enjoy the travels with Dr. John Stephenson and June Geiman-Stephenson with Historic Army 250-year Parade, brought to you here on our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. God bless America.
Honors. Hail to the Chief. A 21-gun salute for the Commander-in-Chief, and the national anthem ringing out across the National Mall as we all
Lord
stood with
Trump's
our hands
little
over our
girl
hearts. A
looks
moment
like
of respect,
trouble.
power,
Her
and
little
pride.
head's
From
behind
there,
Melania.
the celebration
She
came
just
to life
looks like
with a
trouble.
parade
You filming
stepping
right
off
now?
in historic
Yeah.
style.
She looks
Soldiers
like
marched
trouble with
past
a
in
capital
Revolutionary
C.
War, Civil War, and World War I uniforms. A living tribute to where our army began and what it's fought through over 2.5 centuries. And it's all just getting started. Any moment now, troops in World War II uniforms will take the avenue, symbolizing the greatest generation. And here's a live look at our first flyover of the night. Let's watch.
Let's get to it. We're just waiting for the flyover right there, Em. But again, another generation of saints hitting the street, and they're waving to all the kids and all the families that are there.
And you and I have done a lot of stuff, a lot of projects, exciting projects for Fox Nation.
Yeah.
None more exciting, I venture, than me driving a Sherman tank, shooting it and shooting a howitzer. And let me tell you guys, those guys in history loaded those tanks at incredible speeds, and they were young. You know, they were 18-year-olds, some as young as 16, who lied on their entry forms to the U.S.
All because they
Army.
wanted to serve.
That's
That's why I say this is a truly a history lesson for the next generation. They're not taught this in school. They're not seeing the little moments of narration that is in here, seeing this history, living and breathing, the costumes that the current active duty soldiers are wearing to pay tribute. And again, we're waiting for that flyover, and that's when it's gonna really, you're gonna really hear some thunder in this crowd.
And we've been hearing them. I mean, it's like celebrities going by. Finally, a parade of pride.
That's right.
This is a pride parade. This is a parade where the crowd rightly cheers for the celebrities
right.
that are
This is
indeed
a real
the United
pride
States Army
parade.
equipment and people.
Let's bring in a friend, Robert Ansel, war historian and author of The Monument Men. Robert, tell us about these different eras that we're seeing that are being portrayed by our service members in this parade.
It's a remarkable assembly of heroic men and women in the units that they performed in. I've written about it here in my most recent book, Remember Us, and it includes so many of these units, 101st Airborne, 82nd Airborne. I write about some of those soldiers in my book, but also we're focused on some of the, more glamorous units, but we're not talking as much about some of the other service units which are critical to the function of these combat soldiers. I'm speaking about quartermaster troops that moved supplies and also dug the graves for Americans. I speak about the grave registration units that always made certain and went to extraordinary lengths to make sure every single American was found and was honored, buried properly, and returned to their families or buried in one of our overseas cemeteries. Of course, the Army clergy. These are all critical units, and I think a lot about those 400,000 Americans that are buried at Arlington National Cemetery up there on the hill looking down on this parade.
And what do you think it means for morale and messaging? As your book, the movies made from it, has impacted millions of Americans, sir. Truly, what is this parade? What kind of impact will this have on generations to come?
Well, you mentioned earlier that, we don't teach some of these things in school, and that's true. What we really don't teach is that freedom's not free. And we don't speak about the men and women whose lives paid for this freedom that we've all inherited. Everyone who was born in this country that's not involved in military service has been given a gift, and it's an extraordinary and precious gift. And we're learning now in the world today, how easy it is to lose that, how difficult it is to get it back. So, during World War II, we had men and women, the monuments men, that found and returned 4.5 million stolen works of art to the countries from which these things were taken. That had never happened in civilization before. Conquerors always kept these things. But because of great leaders, General Marshall, General Eisenhower, the leadership of President Roosevelt, these things were returned for their rightful owners. And it set a standard, the high bar, for the protection of cultural treasures by the leadership of the United States. The same is true during World War II with respect to General Simpson's 9th Army. General Simpson promised his troops no American boy would be buried on enemy soil. And he made certain that these boys that were killed in Germany were returned to the Netherlands American Cemetery in Margraten. Again, the subject of my new book, Remember Us, and the extraordinary effort that the quartermaster troops and the Great Registration troops went to find and return every single American to either their family or buried overseas. And it's just a remarkably difficult and prolonged effort that will leave every American that learns about these stories in tears out of pride that we have men and women in uniform that are so dedicated to our country.
Robert, just great comments from you, brother. Giving our audience a little history tutorial. We appreciate you coming on the program tonight.
Thanks very much.
All right,
Well, he was incredible, and I'm so grateful for his point that we don't teach that freedom isn't free anymore, right? And that I think we talk often about how oftentimes law enforcement's a thankless position, but here it's not. Now finally the nation can say, we see you and we thank you. And to your point earlier about the suicide rate, it will also help draw attention to the current care that these men and women so richly deserve.
you know what I love about today as well? We've seen this, and the faces that we're seeing right now, we typically see these stern faces. But this day, we've seen smiles as well when they're on the tape, because we normally, our soldiers always protect the, projecting that strength. But you see them waving to the children, lighting up light on their face, because they love this moment as well, right?
That's absolutely right. And now, guys, let's go to the National Mall with Lucas Tomlinson. Lucas, what's going on over there?
Well, it's a very exciting crowd, Emily. As you can see, thousands behind me are lined up. Those who can't watch the parade on Constitution Avenue where you are get the benefit of watching on some big screens, can hear the narration. They love the flyover. We saw Huey's fly overhead, Kiowa's, the old Cobras. We also saw a B-25 Mitchell bomber from the Doolittle raids. We saw P-51 Mustangs. It's been pretty incredible. Although the fast movers did cancel the F-22s, it's been a lot for people to enjoy here on the mall. People are having a good time. Also to honor those Army units, 82nd Airborne Division, 101st, the Big Red One from Fort Riley, Kansas, the oldest continuous Army division dating back to 1917. We saw respect going from all the wars, from the American Revolution to the Civil War, the World War, Korea, Vietnam. It's just been incredible for people to see here, and the rain, as you can see, has largely held off, which is good. We're a few hours away, we're about an hour away from President Trump speaking, but people have enjoyed themselves. They've really enjoyed seeing all the soldiers, seeing Army miners, all those M1 Abrams tanks coming in, rumbling down the Constitution Avenue, weighing in at 70 tons, the Bradley fighting vehicles, M109 self-propelled howitzers. It's been great, and then the period, the costumes, the uniforms that were worn from those wars, the doughboys from World War I, the 82nd Airborne dressing, World War II attire, 101st Airborne, of course, their service in Vietnam, 1st Cavalry Division from Fort Hood, came up with their armor, but also their soldiers. Of course, that was the first major Army unit in the Vietnam War, and just, I think, from a history perspective, Emily, for people to sit here and enjoy a history, really, not just a celebration of the U.S. Army and their 250 years, but really a celebration of the country. And really, you could call this a dry run for next year, when July 4th we celebrate 250 years of this country, Emily. And the Golden Knights, hold on, let's not forget the Golden Knights parachuting into the ellipse. I know you like that, Emily and Lawrence.
I mean, just great, Lucas. Lucas, if you can stand by, let's listen to some of this sound right here as a wave of our servicemen are saluting our Commander-in-Chief right here. Let's listen to it.
Since 2002, the 10th Mountain Division, based out of Fort Drum, New York, has been the most deployed regular Army unit. Its combat brigades have seen over 20 deployments to both Iraq and Afghanistan in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. To show America's military might, they have one purpose: to deter war and, if ordered, defeat the enemies of the United States of America. They are the 10th Mountain Division. Investments in cutting-edge systems, drone technology, and capability strengthen the force, equipping soldiers with tools they need to protect the country and defend democracy. The Army has 8 Stryker Brigade combat teams, 6 in the active component and 2 in the National Guard. More than 2/3 of the 7,000 servicemen and women who sacrificed their lives fighting the global war on terrorism were part of one of the Army's 3 branches: active duty forces, the Army Reserve, and the Army National Guard. The Army is continuously transforming to deter aggression to ensure our adversaries cannot outrage or outpace us. This transformation...
This is just absolutely incredible, Lawrence. Now, let's bring in retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and author of Crisis of the House Never United, Chuck DeVore. Sir, what are your thoughts as you've been watching this historic evening unfold?
Well, I'm so delighted that this has come off, you know, that there was all this hesitation and all this criticism. You know, this is the Army's 250th birthday. How cool is that? The Army predates the nation by a little over a year. You couldn't have the nation without the Army. The Army represents the nation's determination to maintain its freedom, the liberty of the people within the nation. This is just great. It's going to be wonderful for recruiting. You couldn't spend recruiting dollars so effectively as the some $40 million that was put into this very worthwhile celebration.
Chuck, what is your message as someone that has commanded troops? What is your message to the next generation that are signing up for the Army today?
Well, America is worth defending, and if you're able-bodied, if you have discipline, and you think that you can withstand basic training and the challenges that are going to be put in front of you, it's a great way to serve your nation and develop as a human being. You learn discipline, you learn toughness, and you know, you get a lot of education too. The Army paid for my college at Claremont McKenna College. I never could have afforded to go if it wasn't for that ROTC scholarship.
That's where I was, ROTC,
Reading about all of these
Air Force,
go by.
University of Kentucky, second lieutenant.
We refer to them now.
I was thrilled to be one and a cadet policeman.
In World War I and even earlier, and World War II, where it imprinted on the regiment, you know, that amount of bravery, the tide-turning battles that they fought in. So what is that kind of legacy like to watch unfold here in real time, sir?
Well, it's wonderful, and it means a lot to the units. You know, I had the opportunities to serve for a little bit with the 3rd Armored Cavalry, and they have the moniker Brave Rifles. And it comes from the Spanish-American War, when the commander-in-chief of that conflict, Zachary Taylor, as I recall, was so impressed with their performance in combat that they earned the moniker Brave Rifles, and they have it to this day.
So Chuck, tell us, as we continue to watch this performance right here, what does the enemy think about this? Are they shaking?
Absolutely. You know, I believe in peace through strength. I know that President Trump believes in peace through strength. You certainly invite conflict by projecting weakness. And this sort of a projection, even though it's for the 250th birthday, it couldn't have come at a better time when you have enemies of freedom, enemies of America gathering on the horizon. A good parade like this really shows them that America means business and can defend itself and its interests here and abroad.
Roger that, brother. We appreciate you joining us, Chuck.
And nothing like a little soundtrack to Van Halen and Metallica and everything else. You can see everyone in the crowd is rocking out, guys. This is the best night ever, and still ahead, the re-enlistment ceremony with President Trump himself. Stay right here.
Oh, baby.
Don't you hate that dirty lesson part of it is really important as you look at the President, the First Lady, and the Defense Secretary. You know, we had an Army before we had a country. You know, the Declaration of Independence 250 years ago was still a year away. The War of Independence was being fought by farmers and blacksmiths. The Continental Congress forms the Continental Army, and they deliver the message by horseback to everybody. So then you go from that to what you're looking at right here. You fast forward to really the most fearsome fighting force on earth. The Army is the oldest institution in America, and that's what this day is about. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and you have to acknowledge, you know, that there are these no kings
protests around the country, and some cities have a lot of people protesting, saying it's like an authoritarian regime, and that this is the image that reminds them of that. I talked to some former Army folks and said, what do you say to that criticism? How do you respond to it? And they said, we are celebrating the 250th birthday of the institution that fought for your right to say that. And today, the Army has fought, bled, and died for America for 250 years. So there's a lot of pride in the Army at these images and the fact that this is happening at all.
Yeah, I'm proud of them.
For a second, we're going to listen into this just for a few minutes.
This is really good for the kids to see on television or in person. It's a great education. Father's Day tomorrow.
When duty calls, U.S. Army soldiers don't just answer, they lead. From Fort Bragg, witness a powerful demonstration of strength, purpose, and the unmatched capability of today's Army.
The Army has made me see my potential, and I feel like it's molded me into a better person.
I grew up in a very patriotic household. My grandfather, he served in World War II, and his brother, my uncle, served in Vietnam. I can do this. If they can do this, I can do this.
When I was born, my dad was still serving in the military, and him coming home in his uniform, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
Ready for takeoff. My motivation, I think it follows in line. I think with what my family's done is kind of a sense of duty to serve our country and give back since it's given us so much.
I'm a very, let's say, timid person, but definitely helped me become a more confident person.
Working with a group of my peers, it really shows how much working with a team can strengthen you.
Ready to go? Ready to go. I derive a lot of purpose from serving others. I think serving something bigger than myself gets me out of bed every day. Keep following up, keep following.
I definitely pushed myself further than I ever thought I could go.
I joined the military service because I want to deploy. That's my main goal, is deploy, deploy, deploy.
If we get the call, we have to go somewhere, we'll do what needs to be done. That's just the way we operate here.
This is one of the few jobs in the nation where we all take an oath to say, I'm willing to put my life on the line for you, and they're willing to put their life on the line for me.
This is what we train for. This is what I want to do. My team leaders and squad leaders, they know exactly what to do. Check equipment, check weapons, check ammo.
We're always ready to deploy within 18 hours and handle the mission at task. We jump so frequently so that our jump masters and paratroopers are ready to deploy.
I'm very passionate about being a jump master. The paratroopers, they see you, and, you know, they believe in you. I love to instill that confidence with my passion into those paratroopers. It's a rush. It's great.
Drop is clear for personnel drop.
This week we honor 250 years of valor and glory and triumph by the greatest fighting force ever to walk the face of the earth, the United States Army. For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies.
I love the Army. It is a great place to set yourself up for success, to prepare yourself for the future.
God bless you, God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army.
Joint Base Alton, Richardson, Alaska is the home to America's Arctic Angels, who execute expeditionary operations worldwide, conduct multi-domain operations in the Indo-Pacific Theater and the Arctic, and on order decisively defeat any adversary in extreme cold weather, mountainous and high-latitude environments through large-scale combat operations. The Angels are the Army's only Arctic division. Masters of Arctic warfare, the 11th serves worldwide in all climates. Established in November of 1942, the Angels of the 11th Airborne Division led the way in the Philippines during World War II and spearheaded an amphibious invasion of Luzon and distinguished themselves during the liberation of Manila. After periods spent inactive and stationed in Germany from 1963 to 65, the division operated as the 11th Air Assault Division with the mission of testing and refining the Army's helicopter-centric air mobility doctrine. Activated once again in June of 2022.
All right, so there was a little bit of a competition. You saw that fiery enlistment video for the Army. That's how you recruit the next generation. But you saw that we felt the Black Hawks above us rocking this place.
Yeah, they were with Chinook skies. It was really incredible. Everyone was like running over the field. It's just nothing like having it fly right over our heads. It was so very special. And at the same time, these tanks that you see continue to roll by behind us. I want to bring back in Brett Baer. We're going to bring him back into the broadcast right now. Brett, for your thoughts on that remarkable package by the Army and what you're seeing here right now.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about what this means for recruiting, because the Army has already surpassed its goals for recruiting in 2025. Wanted to reach 61,000. They did it 4 months early after missing the recruiting goals in 2022 really severely and 2023. They're now 4 months early meeting that. They spend about $2 billion, almost $2 billion on marketing, advertising, recruiting every year. There's a lot of criticism and controversy about how much this parade is costing. Well, that video, this moment, those kids waving flags, that is all going to the Army's benefit, how Army officials look at it. And they say that this is a moment that they're going to build on the next generation of warfighter in the Army. So it is a big deal. You guys know I covered the Pentagon for 6 years. I spent a lot of time traveling with the Army, and it's you know, it means a lot for them
to finally be recognized like this. It's a big, big deal, and that's what I'm trying to, intimate to.
You're right, Brett, because I can just imagine the kids at home saying, that's a military I want to join. That's a country I want to fight for. But I just got to ask you, you've been in Washington for a very long time, covered the White House for a period of time, the Pentagon. What would this event compare to? I mean, we see the inaugurations of presidents and parades then, but I feel like this is different.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and we've never seen anything like it on the Washington National Mall. It's unique. The president had said he wanted to do it. Again, got a lot of criticism from Democrats, even some Republicans, I will say. But now as this moment comes, I think the images and what the people here are seeing and seeing around the country is more about pride of the 250th. Obviously, it's also President Trump's birthday, but the focus here is on the formation of the Army that, again, happened before the formation of the country. And we're getting ready to celebrate the formation
Birthday of the best president we've had in my lifetime, who's a doer and means what he says and says what he means.
Talking about as we watch the decades go by the last 250 years, the reality of technology, of these incredible developments. My great-great-grandfather was shot up in Jargon, France in World War II. He was in a coma for 30 days, and they sent his wife Rose that telegram that he had died. For 30 days, she thought she was a widow. Now, technology is instant, Brett. So not only the communication of deployed troops to their loved ones back home, but also the technology of the weapons itself. And we're looking forward to tonight, Brett, a little bit of that revelation as well with technology. What
yeah, there'll be this evolution, that we're seeing all the generations, all the way back to the Revolutionary War, and then every kind of battle along the way, and seeing all of the equipment and all of the different history there. It is a history lesson today. Each generation, they're going to be, as this is the future, about ready to do the next generation. And you're going to see some interesting vehicles and some interesting equipment. The entire warfighting thing is going to become much more asymmetric, much more, drone focused, much more where it could be controlled from other places. And, I saw that firsthand. I spent a lot of time overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq. And then Defense Secretary Rumsfeld used to marvel at the fact that the Afghanistan war started with a few guys on horseback with laser pointers putting targets on Taliban leaders that were taken out by bombs. All of that developed real time, and a lot of the people who have served over the past few years now have this knowledge of the next generation of technology that's going to take us forward, whatever that looks like.
Brett, do you get the impression that parade is like, for the Air Force, a Top Gun moment where it serves to re-energize the next generation of Army fighters?
Yeah. Well, that would obviously be the Navy. They love Tom Cruise, and they saw their numbers go up exponentially when that movie came out. And I think that this is the Army's movie, and they're going to use this to really say, look at this fighting force for 250 years. And again, each one of these units getting a lot of pride. You take the politics out of it, and you take the moment of the Army, I think, and you look at it a little differently. Obviously, in Washington, the prism of politics is always there, and you're going to hear all sides. But this day is about those guys and women marching on those streets.
Brett Baer, thank you so much. Incredible analysis tonight. And for now, let's go back to Jillian Turner, who's on 17th and Constitution. Jillian, what is the feeling like where you are close to the president?
Well, folks are super excited out here, Emily and Lawrence. You're seeing the tanks roll back behind me. The Army had set out, as you guys know, to tell their history in this parade, and that is exactly what they have done, what they are doing. It started out, as you saw, almost kind of nostalgic with those Revolutionary and Civil War uniforms that are ubiquitous. Everybody recognizes them through the present, these major tanks, which, guys, I gotta tell you, up close and personal, seeing these things on the move is pretty amazing. They are enormous. I mean, it's like watching dinosaurs walk before your eyes. I particularly enjoyed, I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was that 2-year-old blue heeler dog traveling with the Texas 1st Cavalry Division on the covered wagon. That stole the show for a minute here with the crowd going wild for him, but overall spirits are very high. People have, lasted through the rain, through a little bit. I think we heard some thunder a little bit earlier. Energy is super high. Looks like the weather's going to hold for us, at least for the next hour, until we hear from the president, hopefully. But you're seeing the sights and sounds along with me. It's all pretty awesome.
No, we're enjoying it with you. Judy, if you can stand by, we're going to take a quick break. We're expecting the President of the United States, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, to deliver remarks. Also, he's going to swear in some of those officers as well. It is truly historic what's happening here for the Army 250th Parade. Coming up.
Travels with the Stephensons, John Stephenson. Here we'll come back when the president starts to make his remarks.
Where Army leaders are made. With the motto of duty, honor, and country, West Point trains the best and brightest to serve their country as Army officers. Founded back in 1802 by President Thomas Jefferson, West Point is the home of the long gray line, a legacy of courage and excellence that includes 77 Medal of Honor recipients, 2 U.S. presidents, Grant and Eisenhower, and numerous generals, including John J. Pershing, Douglas MacArthur, and Norman Schwarzkopf.
Saluting them, isn't he? President Trump.
So nice salute from the Commander-in-Chief to the troops. That ceremony is going to be happening pretty soon. So I guess we should try to get a quick break in, and then hopefully when we come back, it'll be time for the Commander-in-Chief to do a swearing-in ceremony.
Perfect. Right now we're watching some of the Academy, the West Point, we heard the West Point Army Band, and we'll take a short break, and we'll come back.
For a recruiter, you can do a lot online now to see it. So we're trying to, as
C-SPAN is doing a good job here also, as well as Fox News.
So people are more well informed.
Don't see any of it much on the other channels, though.
And this parade will take you back to it.
Generations to come. The Citadel, the military college of South Carolina, offers students the opportunity to participate in Army ROTC or the Historic Corps of Cadets. Founded in 1842, the Citadel is the 3rd oldest of the senior military colleges and is known for its Corps of Cadets living and studying under a classical military system that makes leadership and character development essential. While military service is not required at graduation, more than 120 students earn their commission each year through the Army Senior ROTC Palmetto Battalion, playing a vital role in shaping the future. Respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service. Students at the university who participate in the Army ROTC earn their commission as officers, ready to serve on active duty in the National Guard or Army Reserve. Each year, the Army Senior ROTC Warriors shaping tomorrow's Army. West Point's most inspiring cadets remind us that America's future is courageous and in capable hands.
The pride to serve my country knows that I'm doing it not for myself. Every day I put on the uniform, I'm not just representing Caroline Robinson. I'm representing my company here at the Academy. I'm representing West Point. I'm representing the United States Army, and ultimately, I'm representing the United States of America.
I really came to West Point because belief in the American dream and giving back to our country.
You're a part of something that is much bigger than yourself. You're a part of a tradition of excellence and a legacy that's connected not only to the Academy, but to the American Army.
Okay, here.
Left, face.
Mr. President, First Sergeant Norton reporting for duty, sir. Ready to commence the ceremony as directed.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, congratulations. Welcome to the United States Army, and have a great life. Thank you very much. Have a great life. Thank you.
And we need young leaders to be able to close with and destroy the enemy and defend our nation's interests forward.
Surrender is not a Ranger word. It's not an option. I know that I'm not going to be able to get to do this again. This is my chance.
It all starts at the legendary Ranger School, the crucible where these elite warriors are forged. It has been described as the longest approved gut check in the Army. Over 62 days, students will patrol hundreds of miles over mountains and through swamps under the crushing weight of their equipment. All the while, they are deprived of both food and sleep, forced to perform at the very edge of their physical limits. But it's not just the physical challenges that make Ranger School so intense. The mental strain will break these soldiers down to their core.
If I had a come to God moment, I'd take my PC off, my patrol cap, and on the inside of that, my commander gave me a Ranger tab, the yellow and black one that you get during graduation, and I pinned it to the inside of my PC.
Ranger School is not for the faint of heart, but for those who are up to the challenge, it is the ultimate proving ground.
We already didn't have enough beds for people in our company, and our eyes reminded us that we don't have enough beds because there's not going to be this many people by tomorrow. Just a slight reminder of that. There's too many of you anyways, and not all of you are going to pass.
Rangers, if you don't figure it out, you're about to get another casualty.
It's completely different than what people would think Ranger School is like, but you can't put that into words, so it's hard to tell somebody something that you have to experience for yourself.
They're going to say it's called as the tab turns, so Ranger School is continuing to change and to develop, but at the end of the day, it is the same. Right? They're always going to put you in scenarios that is going to test like your ability to actually make decisions on the ground.
As you go through Ranger School, it is a gut check. It's going to check you out. And what's going to get you through it is whether you have it or not. Thousands and thousands of soldiers train all their lives to come here, prepare themselves to come to Ranger School, and only a few hundred leave here every class with the tab. It's not for everyone.
I'm not going to leave until I get it, so just buckle down, stop complaining, and just get the job done.
she did. One foot in the flames and the other trying to walk the line. Can't say I never saw it coming, I can see the warm signs. Mama always said I was born on the wild side.
Born on the wild side.
Yes, Mama was right. 'Cause when the clock strikes midnight, you're right around me. Feel the thunder till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, breathing good, Lord lifts me high. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Gonna ride like me. I see you singing, my friend. There's a man in a black coat standing at a crossroads, with a pen in his hand and a long list of lost souls. They say he flips a coin, fools and a fool's gold. There's a man in a black coat standing at a crossroads. I hope he lets me pass by. When I close my eyes, gonna ride like it, feel the thunder till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, breathing good, Lord lifts me high. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Gonna ride the lightning, ride the lightning, ride the lightning. We got one more chorus, y'all. Gonna ride the lightning, feel the thunder till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, breathing good, Lord lifts me high. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Singing, oh, when they call me on. Gonna ride the Ladies and gentlemen, everybody here, everybody that's attended tonight, I just want to say thank you so much. And I'll leave y'all with this. I'm Lawrence Adams, y'all. Thanks for having me. It has been my honor, ladies and gentlemen. I really mean that. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to the Army. Happy birthday to our President, Donald Trump. Amen, y'all. God bless America, baby!
That was Warren Zader, a Fox News favorite, Fox Apprentice favorite, with a tribute to our military. I mean, it's just so electric.
First of all, June the 14th is, of course, the birthday of the Army.
Well, let me say to the thousands of Americans
who traveled from distant towns and across state lines to be here today. This is your national capital. Welcome to Washington, D.C. We are thrilled to have you. This evening, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, the oldest branch of the greatest fighting force ever known to man, I want to say to all the soldiers all across our nation's capital and all across the world, happy birthday, soldiers. We're proud of you.
Amen. And we are proud of you. Right, Miss June?
And I want to say you represent an unbroken line of greatness, of excellence. And one of the things the President of the United States has told his entire administration, from the Vice President on down, is that we must remember that the young men and women who put on the uniform and serve this nation are our most precious resource. We must honor them, we must respect them, we must fight for them, and that's exactly what the Trump administration aims to do every single day. And so to our soldiers, we're so proud of you, and let me tell you that the way that we honor and respect you is, number one, we never ask you to go to war unless you absolutely have to, and number two, when we do ask you to go to war, we give you the weapons and the support needed to kick the hell out of the enemy and come back home safely. Now, I know I am the last thing standing between the main event, and that is a dangerous place to be with a lot of soldiers in the audience. So let me just say a couple of quick additional thoughts. First of all, June the 14th is, of course, the birthday of the Army. It is, of course, the birthday of the President of the United States, and happy birthday, Mr. President. But I would get in trouble if I didn't mention that it's also my wedding anniversary, and so to my lovely wife, I love you, honey, happy anniversary, and thank you for everything that you do for our country.
Amen. And my wife June, the same thing.
It is my pleasure to introduce the 45th and 47th Commander-in-Chief of the United States Military, President Donald J. Trump.
He just turned 79, June, and I'm 81, so he's younger than me.
Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you to Vice President Vance, and thank you to our wonderful First Lady, and above all, thank you to the greatest, fiercest, and bravest fighting force ever to stride the face of this earth, the United States Army. Thank you very much. Because the Army keeps us free, you make us strong, and tonight you have made all Americans very proud. They're watching from all over the world, actually. Made them all very proud. Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight. And watching this magnificent display, our souls are filled with gratitude for every generation of warriors who have worn the uniform all the way back to the very beginning. So to every veteran across our land, and right here in our nation's capital, including 6 recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor, we love you, we honor you, and we salute your noble service to our flag and to our country. As we celebrate tonight, we also think of the hundreds of thousands of Army soldiers who have made the supreme sacrifice for our nation and selflessly laid down their lives in every war, from the Revolution to the War on Terror. To the Gold Star families with us today, the courage of your heroes is the bedrock on which our entire nation stands. We thank you. Yes, we thank you. Today we commemorate An event that did not just change American history, but changed the history of the entire world. With the creation of America's Army on June 14th, 1775, liberty got its shield and the freedom got its sword. Those first Army patriots in the American Revolution fought against a fearsome enemy and impossible odds, but they were armed with a righteous cause. They were led by an indomitable commander, a truly great man, General George Washington, and they were united by an eternal creed. Their motto is victory or death. Over the past 2.5 centuries, our warriors have shown unrivaled valor on fields of battle around the globe. With the frostbitten feet and bloody fist, they have marched into the flames and fury of combat, charged up mountains, stormed beaches, waded through torrents of gunfire, and leapt into skies thick with smoke and shrapnel. The U.S. Army has driven bayonets into the heart of sinister empires, crushed the ambitions of evil tyrants. Beneath the threads of American tanks, it's done so well, it's done so much, and sent the devil himself flying into full retreat. Time and again, America's enemies have learned that if you threaten the American people, our soldiers are coming for you. Your defeat will be certain, your demise will be final, and your downfall will be total and complete. Because our soldiers never give up, never surrender, and never ever quit. They fight, 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 and they win, win, win. And that's why no institution in history has entered more names into the roster of American heroes than the U.S. Army, the Congressional Medal of Honor, more than anyone or anything. There was Mad Anthony Wayne, asked by George Washington to lead a daring midnight raid up the cliffs of Stony Point with unloaded muskets and only their bayonets to fight the redcoats. Mad Anthony replied, "Issue the order, sir, and I will storm into hell for you." Then there was the Civil War General John Corse, shot in the face in combat. He fired off a message to his commander: "I am short a cheekbone and one ear, but I am able to whip the hell out of all of them." He stayed on the front lines, it seemed forever. In World War II, there was the great Creighton Abrams, besieged on all sides by the Nazis at the Battle of the Bulge. He boldly proclaimed, "They've got us surrounded again, the poor bastards." This is the fighting spirit and unyielding force of the U.S. Army. It has never changed, and it will never, ever change, because there is no earthly force more powerful than the brave heart of a U.S. infantryman or an Army Ranger, paratrooper, or Green Beret. They are the best, they are the finest. From Bunker Hill to San Juan Hill, from Gettysburg to Guadalcanal, from Yorktown to Shiloh, and from the trenches of the Argonne to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Army has forged a legacy of unmatched courage, untold sacrifice, and unequaled and undying glory. Our soldiers have poured out their blood by the bucketful on Missionary Ridge and Heartbreak Ridge, on the sands of Sicily, Normandy, and the Philippines, and on the dusty streets of Da Nang, Baghdad, and Fallujah. Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud, and America stands free. We're the hottest country in the world right now. And our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before. Down through history, we've been blessed beyond words by this valiant legion of Army warriors and patriots, heroes and legends. And tonight we affirm with unwavering certainty that in the years ahead and in every generation hence, whenever duty calls and whatever danger comes, the American soldier will be there. No matter the risk, no matter the obstacles, our warriors will charge into battle. They will plunge into the crucible of fire, and they will seize the crown of victory, because the United States of America will always have the grace of Almighty God and the iron will of the United States Army. Congratulations to everybody. We love our country. We've never done better. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the Army, and God bless America. And now I'd like to ask our great First Lady to join me at the podium. Thank you very much, everybody.
Still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Happy birthday, Mr. President. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, sing it with me. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Praise the Lord.
United States Army. Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed the videos we did today for Father's Day and birthday for President Donald Trump. Don't forget, go to your church tomorrow. If you haven't got a church to go to, come on out to Oak Ridge Baptist Church. My son will be going with me tomorrow, Geiman-Stephenson. I'm very thrilled with that as a Father's Day present. And of course, my wife, Miss June, and our head pastor is Randy Wallace. Don't forget to listen to WIOK 107.5 FM on the radio dial, Tri-State Gospel, 107.5. Tri-State Gospel, Gil and Chan Hammond, Post Office Box 50, Falmouth, Kentucky, 41040 zip code. God bless you, and have a great day. And www.begottenson.com is where you can go and see a beautiful, beautiful writing by Gil Hammond, pastor, and Stewart, him and Jan Hammond, the Stewarts for WIOK Radio. Go to www.begottenson.com and you can see it. Or on my Facebook page or YouTube page under Travels with Dr. John Stephenson. God bless you and have a great day.
Serving alongside my grandfather and my great-grandfather.
Well, I just now ran out of battery. Would you believe?
And I just want to say thank you.
Made it to it with that phone. I'm sorry to have you go get it because I thought it was going to go dead, but it did go dead right now. So I got to get out and plug it in.
Men and women, especially the Army for their 250th birthday. Thank you very much.
My grandpa served in the Army in World War II as part of the 82nd Airborne. Thank you, Army, for everything that you do. My brother Rob and my son Alec both served in the U.S. Army. We thank you for your courage, your sacrifices, and the burdens that you may now carry.
Thank you so much for doing what you do, putting your lives on the line for other men like me to live the life I live.
I just want to say happy birthday to the U.S. Army, congratulating them on 250 years. I want to give a big shout out to my uncle's 80 who served in the Army, and thank you for all you do.
I'm very thankful for the dedication and the hard work of men and women of the U.S. Army.
Hi, American soldiers. Thank you for all you do. Love you.
Our freedom is not free, and we know that we are free because of you and your efforts.
Thank you to our Army, active duty, and veterans for protecting our rights and freedoms. Comes at an immeasurable cost.
Wishing you the best. Happy birthday, Dawn.
Happy birthday, Army. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you for getting this morning,
that served in the back.
Love you guys and girls. Thank you so much for everything you do.